Hello students, here I am Alisha. Today we are going to see the activity life cycle of Android. This topic already covered in the last chapter. We will see the overview of this activity life cycle of Android. So first that is the on create method, right? So on create method, on start method, on resume method, these are the methods. Activity start, activity running, activity killed, activity stopped. So these are the nothing but the states. Okay, so what you have to remember that suppose the activity running means what, that is the visible and interact with the user, right? Paused means what, so activity is still visible but partially obscure, right, or invisible. That is, the instance is running but might be the killed by the system. When stopped, that means activity is not visible, instant is running but might be killed by the system. Okay, so here it is, they form the movement of this particular creation activity appears in the screen, the movement that is hidden, and that is goes through the number of states. Okay, that is known as the activity life cycle. So here it is, the states, that is the running, paused, stopped and killed. Okay, so these are the states and these are the methods: on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy and on restart. So on create method, that is called when the activity is created, used to initiate, right, any activity, right? So this is about the on create method. Then on start, that is called when the activity becomes visible to the user, that is called as a on start method. Then next, on resume method. On resume method, that is called, right, when the activity get visible again and the user starts the interfacing with the activity. That is used to initialize the fields, then register the listeners and bind the services, etc. So that is the on resume method. Then next, activity running, that means that is visible to the user or interact with the user. Then next, on pause method, that means when one or another activity gets into the foreground, that is allow always call before the activity is not visible anymore. So that is used to release the resources or save the application. For example, you unregister the listeners, then intent receivers unbind from the services. Okay, for the or remove the system services listener. So when the activity is not visible, that is called the stop method. So once stop method will be called, that is no longer visible. Okay, so timer or CPU intensive shutdown operations such as the writing information to the database, that should be down in the stop method. Okay, so on destroy method, that is called before the activity is destroyed by the system, either manually or by the system to conserve the memory, right? So this is about the all methods of the activity life cycle. So here the activity base class defines the series of the events via predefined methods, which are the on create method, on start method, on resume method, on pause method, on stop method, on destroy method, on restart method. So when user navigates the activity again, then it will call the restart method to start method, right? When the process killed, then user navigates to the activity, so it will call the on create method. Okay, so this is about the activity life cycle of Android, right? Let's see the example of activity life cycle. So here we have defined one class, that is a public class name, that extends the activity. Okay, so first the on create method will be called, right? And that is the super dot on create saved instance state. That is very common, right? Set content view r dot layout dot activity underscore main. Okay, log dot d, that is the call life cycle on create method will be called here, right? So that will be print the life cycle on create method will be called, right? So you have to remember protected void on create, right? And using on create method, you can start the interact with the user, or we can say the visible the activity to user. Protected void on start. So on start method we have seen, that is how we can write super dot on start method. Whenever it will be called, that is written life cycle on start invoke, right? When the protected void resume method on resume method, then super dot on resume method log dot d life cycle on resume invoked. Okay, so here it is about the on start method and on resume method, right? On start method, when the activity becomes visible to the user. On create, that is the initialize the activity, right? And on resume method, that means it is called when the activity get the visible again. Okay, next, protected void on pause. On pause method calls any other activity get information like a foreground, right? So what we have to write here, super dot on pause log dot d, that is the life cycle on pause invoked, right? And for the stop method, that whenever the stop method will be called, then activity doesn't appear anymore, right? So here it will be shows the super dot on close on stop method, then on stopped invoked, right? So these are the methods. Next, on protected void on start. So restart method will be called when the user want to go there again, like appear the activity again, then it will be called the restart method on resume to restart, right? So that is the restart method. And log.d, through this we can print anything what you want to print, right? Last, protected void on destroy. Destroy means what? Activity is destroyed by the system. When we are going to close any application, then that will be called the destroy method. Okay, either it's a manually or either the system, right? So this is about the on destroy method, right? So first, which method we have seen, that is the on start method, on create method, on create method, then next on start method, then on resume method, then protected void on pause method, then on stop method, then on restart method, and last on destroy method. So whenever you have performed any action regarding the activity, it will be shows like this. Okay, so that is the on restart method or on destroy method, right? So this is the example of Android activity. Now the defining the styles. Defining the styles, that means when style is defined in the XML, we already know about that. Then resource that is separated from the XML. See, XML extended markup language, and whenever we are going to go through the style, then we have to prefer the XML only, right? So that specify the layout, and we already know that values are in the resource folder, and values, then directory of the project, that will be goes into the resources tag, root node which is mandatory of this style file, right? So XML file is the arbitrary, but it must be used .xml extension. It is very common when we are going to prefer any XML file, then that particular extension is .xml, right? You can define the multiple styles as per the file using style tag, but style will have its own name that is uniquely identified, right? So whenever we are going to implement the item into the style, let's see the code so we can understood very well. Here it is. First, the resources tag is there, and we have defined the style. So style name, that is the custom font size, right? Name equal to Android layout underscore width fill parent slash item, right? And item name equal to Android layout underscore height, rep underscore content and slash item, right? Name equal to Android capitalized characters slash item. So these are the items we can add by the item tag, right? So item name equal to Android typeface, which type of the font, monospace, right? Then item name equal to Android text size, that is a 12 points, and the color of that particular font color, then that is the Android text color hashtag 0. See, this is the different as per the color, this code will be different. This is we have already seen in the chapter 1, right? So color code is different. That is depend on the particular color, which type of the color you want to see. Put it down in your activity, that you can write over here. Okay, and that is slash style and slash resources. So here what happened, guys, you have to remember first that is the resource tag that contains the style, and style tag that contains the items, right? So this hierarchy you have to keep in mind, right? So that is only the style works very similarly to the CSS, we can say, right? So there are the number of attributes associated with each widget, and which you can set to the different style, right? So attribute can be specified the properties as the height, width, color, okay, padding, font color, font size, background, font type, etc., right? So this is how we can define the style. Next, defining the style, that is only the value of item can be keyword. Yes, already we have seen the hexacode. This is the nothing but the hexacode of that particular color, right? So using that hexacolor or reference to another resource type or other view depending on the style properties. We have already seen the different styles. See, width, height, then typeface, that is the font type, then text size, text color, etc. Okay. Now let's see the using style. Once style is defined, you can use in your own XML layout, right? For the using the style attributes as the follows. First, that is the linear layout we have used here. So here the one URL is there, that is by default. Then width and height we have specified, that is the fill parent and fill parent. You can write there match parent also, right? Then orientation, that is the vertical. Here we have used the text view, right? And Android ID equal to @ID slash text ID. Style we have used, that is the @style slash customer font style, right? And Android text, that is the hello one, hello underscore one, right? So here we have defined by own style, right? So you can write like this also. Then let's see about the style inheritance. So style inheritance, that means what? So Android support the style inheritance in the very much similar to the cascading style state. We have already seen, right? That is a CSS. You can use this inherit the properties from the existing style. How? Then here it is. The resource file is there. Then style name equal to whatever your name is there. Then parent style, that is the slash theme, right? And name equal to Android text color primary and whatever the your color, right? So here you can specify to create the means whatever. Suppose we have created the large font and the small font, and whenever I am going to write the click on the large font, then particular text will be goes into the large, and if I am going to click on the small font button, then it will be appear like a small, right? So this is about the code, and you can use your new theme will be applied to your activity, right? And text will be now the bright red color. Here you can see the Foursquare, then Salesforce, Google, Facebook, Twitter, AOI, then Yahoo, that will be appear in the red font. Okay, why? Because we have specified here the particular Android text color primarily, right? So this is how you can implement your theme to the activity. Okay, so here it is about the style inheritance. Next, applying the colors to the theme attributes. So how we can apply the colors to the theme attributes? So your color resources can be applied to the some attributes we have seen, right? But adding the item element to your custom theme, these are the attributes are defined as the style.xml file. Obviously the style file is there, then we have to write down the .xml extension, right? And for suppose we are going to apply the custom color means by own, then item elements to the add your custom theme, that is defined to the my Android app resource folder into values, then styles.xml file, right? See, this is how we can write resource file, then style file, then name, Android window background color slash my custom color, whatever I have defined, right? That is the name equal to Android color background question hint, that is the color slash my underscore color underscore custom underscore color. So this is how we can implement, and let's see the example. See, this is Foursquare, Salesforce, then Google, Facebook, Twitter, AOI and Yahoo. So guys, this is the most important question, and sometimes that will be asked how we can implement this style and theme. Okay, so I think this is the last topic of your chapter, and from this chapter you have to prepare such questions, that is the what is the event driven programming, explain in brief. Second, write a short note on event listener and event handler. How to register the listeners, explain in brief. Give the example of activity life cycle, and last, that is the exception handling concept. See, this is the last question that will be not very much asked, but these 4 questions are too important, guys. Okay, so hope you understand this topics. If you have any doubt, then you can write in comment. Thank you.